Retirement planning used to be a lot different than it is today. People's retirement plans functioned like these pedestals, 3 separate pillars working together to support people's retirement goals: individual retirement savings, monthly Social Security payments, and pension plans from longtime employers as a reward for their loyalty over the years. But times, they've changed, and this pension pillar people could once rely on has largely been kicked out of their plans. So what happened to these? What's taken their place? And do they adequately replace that third pillar for a successful retirement? I'm Morgan Patrick, and this is Retiring Yesterday versus Retiring Today. In the year 1980, employer-sponsored pension plans covered 46% of all private sector employees. Today, only 17% of private sector employees have access to one. Pensions were easy for employees. They provided a guaranteed, steady stream of income for life, and they didn't really need to do anything. They just collected a check at the end of the month in retirement. So what happened to pension plans? For employers, pension plans were often expensive to manage and administer. Additionally, all of the investment risk was on the employer. So for the most part, pensions were replaced by defined contribution plans such as 401ks, shifting the responsibility to individual employees rather than the employer. And 401ks have blown up. It's estimated that there are over $3 trillion worth of assets invested in 401ks. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 64% of private sector workers have access to defined contribution plans, like a 401k. The 401k is an excellent investment option for those who have access to them. It's easy for an employee to automatically make a contribution each month. And some employers offer contribution matching, which is essentially free money. Contributions to 401ks reduce your tax liability and your tax withholdings each pay period, but requires you to pay taxes later when you withdraw funds. Alternatively, many companies are now offering a Roth 401k, which lets you pay taxes on your contribution now, and they let your money grow tax-free. These are all great options. So what's wrong with 401ks? Pension plans, in contrast to 401ks, are professionally managed. 401ks are often passively managed. Pensions offer guaranteed retirement income for life from the employer. 401k plans have no such guarantees, and the risk is shifted to the account holder. And generally, a 401k plan will have more administration fees and offer fewer investment options. So, 401ks didn't replace the third pillar, it shifted to the individual savings pillar. With this vital pillar gone, many workers, even if they have a well-diversified portfolio, are not putting enough away on a regular basis to last through retirement. When you take into account the unstoppable force of inflation and increasing healthcare costs as you age, just having Social Security and an unprotected 401k account isn't going to be enough to cover your needs as you get further along into retirement. Ted Benna, the so-called father of the 401k, said he never intended 401ks to be the primary method of saving for retirement. They were intended to be one piece of a retirement plan.
It's never intended to be the big thing that it is today, for sure. It was definitely, never intended to be the primary vehicle other than Social Security in terms of providing retirement security. It's gotten much too complicated investment-wise and expensive for participants. The average individual retiring doesn't have an idea of, well, now how do I convert this thing into something that has the potential of lasting the rest of my life?
Look, I'm not here to trash 401ks, but they shouldn't be your only retirement option. And if you are going to use a 401k, make sure you educate yourself about how best to manage your accounts. So what should you look for in your company's 401k plan? And what are some of the other options to replace that third pillar? We spoke with financial planner Gregg Berrian to learn more.
In essence, what you want to really focus on is, number one, your fees. What kind of fees are you paying? Then you want to look at the Roth, if a Roth is available to you. And if you qualify for the Roth, that is enormous. Then employer match. What is your employer matching you? And even if they're not matching, you still got to feed it. And then finally, the options available to you, be it more risk averse or more risk tolerant, whatever it may be. So other options to replace that third pillar, annuities work wonderfully in retirement. So what happens in a hybrid annuity, basically the insurance company insures your pension. It insures your money. It's guaranteed to never go down. That is the best part about it. Life insurance is an incredible component. It's really best if you start it in your 30s and 40s when you're still young, the cost of insurance is low. You got to be careful about that, creating that pillar. So you want to make sure you're in a diversified basis, looking at very different options available to you. So in case one pillar does crumble a little bit, you have other pillars to hold you up.
It is possible to have that retirement everyone dreams of. You may just have to work a little bit harder to support that third pillar. Retiring yesterday looks pretty different from retiring today, but that's why it's important to meet with a financial planner to assess your best options.